Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by MiloTree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today, my guest is Paula Rollo. She's back on the show. She is a good friend. She is the community manager for MiloTree, and she manages our affiliate program. If you're not an affiliate, scroll down to the bottom of the page at milotree.com and sign up. We do give preference to people who actually use MiloTree, and we pay $20 per conversion. Today we are talking all things traffic, because remember, in order to grow your business, you need traffic to your site. So we're going to talk about SEO strategies. We're going to talk about Pinterest. We're going to talk about email marketing, and we're going to talk about MiloTree and how that will also grow your traffic. So without further ado, here is Paula Rollo. Paula, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me back.
I love this. You know what I love? That we sit here, we come up with like cool topics that help bloggers who are already established, bloggers who already are getting traffic and making money, but who can take their game to the next level.
Yes, it's so much fun talking about like not how to start a blog, but what to do with the blog you already have and the business you're already creating.
Exactly. And how to just kind of add a little bit of rocket fuel to it.
Yes.
And
blasting off
and putting more intentional strategy behind what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So today, we're going to talk about growing traffic. And we're assuming that you've got some traffic and how to continue building on the traffic that you already have.
Exactly. Because we know this isn't like, I feel like a few years ago, everything was, here's the hacks, here's the loophole that you can exploit in the newest social media platform to get a lot of page views immediately. And that's just not how our industry works anymore.
Right. And I always remember like the Facebook hacks where you would be posting every half hour. And if you posted one, then you were supposed to post two very quickly. Do you remember things like that?
Yes. It makes me tired just thinking about it. That was miserable.
Right. And you would have your whole schedule set and you'd have other people filling in posts, filling in slots for you, because there were all these ways that people were trying to game the algorithm.
Yes. And even like not maliciously either. It's not like we were creating poor content and then just gaming everything. We had good content and there were legitimate hacks to get it out there better. So we were doing it, but that's just not cutting it anymore. And I feel like all of the social media platforms are like really tightening up all those loopholes and making it more and more difficult for us. Which just means that more than ever before, it's about that quality content and really serving our audience. And that's what's going to get us through the crazy algorithms these days, instead of just finding that little trick.
Absolutely. In fact, we went to the Ad Thrive conference last year. And the one thing I took away from that was how crazy smart Google is today, and how all the platforms are getting smarter and smarter. So it used to be back in the day with your blog on WordPress, what you would do is you would keyword stuff and you would put keywords into like the headings so they wouldn't like show up, but they would be on the page. So Google would read those and then you could rank for those keywords. And there are all these ways to game the system for Google. And Google, over the years now, has really discovered all of these ways that people were manipulating their platform and has built out stopgaps or has corrected these loopholes. And the truth is, Google is so smart now that they can read your content. They know exactly what it is. And they understand the context of your content, and they will serve up the best content to people searching.
Which to me is such a relief, honestly. I think listening to Jeff, and Google had a representative at that conference as well. And so pulling back the curtain and knowing the way that they view our sites and they view the whole internet it was like a breath of fresh air, because I feel like a lot of the time, take Facebook, for example, content creators and Facebook do not have the same goal. because Facebook wants people to stay on Facebook. They don't really particularly want people to be visiting our sites. They want people to be staying and having conversations around a meme we created, maybe, on Facebook, or they don't want to be clicking out to YouTube. They want us to put the video on Facebook itself, and they want people to enjoy it there and never click to us. Whereas Google, their whole goal and their reason for existing is to show people quality content on the internet.
Right.
And so if our goal, which everyone listening to this podcast has the goal of creating quality content
and getting traffic,
then that means we're united in goal with Google, which is why I'm just obsessing over SEO right now and have been for a couple of years now, because it's the only platform that really the best interest of Google and the best interest of content creators are unified.
Absolutely. And I would say the same thing with Pinterest. We can talk about that as well. Although it's interesting now, Pinterest is wanting video on their platform. And the feedback that I have gotten is that video is getting great engagement on Pinterest, but it's not getting clicks off of Pinterest.
Yep. I've seen that.
We'll have to watch how that evolves. But I agree with you. Remember on Facebook, you would do all these things like Facebook would know on your post if you said, hey, click here to get the full recipe or something like that. So then you had to kind of come up with these tricks. Like you'd say, you're never going to believe what I have in step 4 of my recipe. Like you'd try to find ways to get people to click over to your site without Facebook fully understanding that you were tempting people to click away.
Right. And that we just don't have to do that with Google.
No, you don't. And there is something very relieving, but there are certain strategies to get your content found. And I would say that the most important thing is to answer questions people have and be the authority answer.
Yes.
And
how do you, I completely agree, but I want you to break down what it means to be an authority answer, because I think we all would either default to I'm an authority on everything or I'm an authority on nothing. So what does that mean to Google when they would say this person is an authority on, like Jillian is an authority on parties?
Okay.
What does that look like?
What I think that looks like is a wheel and spokes. And we've talked about this before, but it is really mastering a specific niche, domain, something like that. And we've talked about this too, which is figuring out what about you is connecting with your audience. So you can find this in Google Analytics by finding your most popular blog posts and then building posts that are related, that support whatever it is that people already look to you for. And then it's all about linking your posts together internally on your blog so that that Google is seeing all these links to related content and will serve up that content when somebody has a question in your expertise.
So here's another question then. How do you choose which content's linking to which other content? Especially when you have 1,000 posts.
Okay.
And especially when you have, like, if you have gone ahead and created a certain series, but it's not necessarily a step 1, step 2, step 3. I think for a lot of bloggers who've been doing this for a lot of time, it just so happens that every year I've written on summer backyard activities. But how do I know which ones to link to one another without putting a list at the bottom of each post and saying, here's 15 more ideas or something like that?
Right. Well, you could put a list at the bottom, and I wouldn't probably put 30 different posts, but I might put some of those posts, especially in a question, like what are you interested in other backyard activities or backyard activities with water or backyard art activities, arts and crafts backyard activities. So I would say, like, ask your audience, like say, hey, if you want more, here is more, and give them different choices. I would also think about creating a page on your site where you have all of these posts organized in a way that could be useful for somebody.
Because then you're doing one link or one or two, instead of doing 15.
Well, except then I would do,
and overwhelming people.
What I would also do, though, is in the context of your writing, I would be writing natural language that is helpful. So you're not just stuffing this in, and linking to the natural language in your blog post. And remember,
Google loves those natural links.
Yes, and those are like those keywords that Google goes, ooh, that's cool. I know what this is. I know what it's going to link to. And remember, longer posts do better.
Yes. And how many words are you doing these days?
Ooh, if I could do 2,000 a post, like a MiloTree post, I'm not going to do that on Catch My Party because it's a different animal. But the longer, the better. We used to do like very few words, and we've really worked toward building up the actual text. And again, trying to be helpful with the text, not just writing text just to write text, but we are trying to structure our posts with headings, really like digging into those H2s, H3s, those different sized headings, because people are skimming. And you want to make your content as easy to understand that they can. And also sometimes I will put like a directory at the top. If it's going to be a very long blog post, I have a guide on Instagram, how to grow your Instagram. And I have links at the top of my blog post where if you click it, it will lead you to that part of the post where you can get that information.
How do you code that?
Ooh.
To scroll down the page.
Okay. I Googled it.
Okay. Well, what do you call it then in that case?
Okay. I'll have to think about it, and I will put it in the show notes, but I think it's like
perfect.
internal links.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy in WordPress to do it in the HTML. Very easy. You just like follow this formula, and then you can put those internal links. But that way there's like an index or a table of contents so that people can see your content. But so therefore, back to your idea of the outdoor activities, right? Kids activities.
Yeah.
I would be writing the quintessential guide to outdoor activities. I would also have a page on my site with like a directory of outdoor activities. And then in all of those posts, at the bottom of them, I would have like the top things that people are interested in. Like if you know that people love water activities, I'd be showing that on a variety of those posts at the bottom. Like, hey, here are, do you want water activities? Because what you want is people to be clicking on those links and getting deeper into your site and reading more stuff.
Right.
So I'd be leveraging the ones that are the most popular, putting those on all of these pages. Rather than saying, well, this one doesn't get a lot of traffic, so I'll put that one on the page. No. I'd put the ones that are you already know people want. Because you need those clicks and you need them to stay. Exactly. You want to signal to Google that somebody came to this post, they thought it was useful, and not only did they think it was useful, they're even digging deeper. Right. Well, and it's really becoming more in the SEO world, one of the things that's becoming more and more important is site speed. Yes. Because Google is punishing. You could be the actual ultimate authority, wrote 10 books on outdoor activities, but if it takes too long for your page to load, Google's not going to rank you because people are going to be clicking away. Absolutely. And so they're measuring how long was this person on the site. If they click away too quickly, Google says, this didn't answer the question. It told me it was going to answer the question, what are the best outdoor activities? But clearly they weren't great. They weren't the best because somebody clicked away. But if you're clicking deeper, that also signals to Google, this person clicked deeper. They wanted more and more activities because Jillian's actually answering who has the best outdoor activities and what are the best outdoor activities. Absolutely. And in fact, I'm going to be doing a recording with David, my partner and husband, about site speed so that we can really talk about what does it mean. And for example, David is obsessed with site speed. And that's why with MiloTree, it will not slow your site down because God forbid it does. So you can trust us on that.
David would cry.
He would cry. He would cry. Yes. He was like always, and I didn't really understand this, but on Catch My Party, he would be like, I would put up like a huge photo on our site and it wouldn't be reduced in size. So the file size was huge. And he would get so upset, like, what are you doing? Because of site speed. Because remember, you want optimized photos and things so that the experience is really good. And that's also one thing that I recommend, which we learned from Jeff. People are consuming content on mobile. So let's say you're a food blogger and you take beautiful photos of food and you take beautiful photos of your lemon cake. You do not need 30 photos that are pretty similar, even though they're all so beautiful and you couldn't choose between your own babies. Right. It's like, no. You just need one of those beautiful photos and maybe some photos of the preparation, but really be mindful of not stuffing your posts with so many photos that are all of the same thing because people, little slight different angle, because people are going to have to scroll through that and it's not a good experience. So you want to be thinking from the perspective of the visitor on mobile consuming your content. And that's why, again, you want it to be hierarchical. You want those headings so that people know, oh, here's where I'm going to learn about this. I don't care about that. I want to know about this.
Right.
And you're serving it up in a way that your audience wants to consume it. And then your audience likes it and signals to Google in a variety of ways, like clicking and all of that. And then Google goes, ooh, she's good. Let's reward her with some traffic.
Right. And it's so counterintuitive, I guess, because I feel like, you and I have both been in this a long time. And a few years ago, we were writing content about page views that was very different than the conversation we're having today, because it never would have entered into our minds at the time that site speed had anything to do with page views or image size or anything like that. But truly, you could spend all day, 24 hours a day on Pinterest, on Facebook, running the biggest Facebook ads and all of those things. And if your site structure is not there and flawlessly working quickly, you're not going to get anywhere.
Absolutely. It's like the nuts and bolts really do matter. And the tricks don't matter as much.
It's true.
So it is about kind of playing clean, like being simple. Again, thinking in terms, like I didn't think about H2s. Did you?
No. I didn't even know what they were, to be honest.
And
I had no idea.
And I also didn't think about this, which is how to, I kind of would be like, what sounds like a good post? Or what am I interested in? Or what's a good recipe? And now you better believe every decision we make is calculated. And I don't mean that in a evil way, but I do mean that, like, is this, so we were just, you and me, we were just talking about MiloTree, right? MiloTree's perfect audience, the people who get the most benefit from our pop-up, are people who already have traffic, who want to convert that traffic into followers, subscribers, that kind of thing. So remember, that's who I want to go after because I can help them. And we were just talking about this, which is how to be very intentional in the blog posts and even these podcasts that we're working on so that those people know MiloTree is for them. Because MiloTree is not for everybody. And so we're like, okay, rather than just being like, hey, I'm really interested in, I don't know, some blogging topic. It's like, no. I want to attract that specific audience because that specific audience is going to want to read my blog post or want to listen to my podcast because I can help them. Exactly. So I was using the analogy, and I don't know if it's right. It's like you're kind of a surgeon. Like you want to be really making these good. You want to like go after very strategically that audience, that the ones who you want people who have kids, who like to be outside in the summertime, who maybe have multiple children, who don't have a huge budget to be like, hey, let's just go to Disneyland, who really want intentional mothers who want to find activities for their kids and not just plop them in front of the TV. Like, I know who that audience is for that blog post.
Right.
So therefore, I was just going to say, you can then go, okay, if I know that this is who my avatar is, what else would they be interested in?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I was just going to say, because you know the audience for that site, that post, and for your site as a whole. And it's the same thing.
Right.
It's not like everything that a person who's interested in backyard parties might be interested in. You've picked one person.
Right.
And it's not everyone who's ever considered blogging should be on MiloTree. It's a specific person at a specific stage in their business journey. And that's what makes your sites a lot more powerful than a catch-all for every blogger or every party or every outdoor, extravaganza like we've been talking about. But really the site-wide authority is looked at by Google just as much as the individual post authority.
Absolutely. Are you a blogger or entrepreneur whose traffic is taking a hit due to those ever-changing social media algorithms? Have you heard that the real money's in your email list, but you don't know how to increase your subscribers? Do you feel overwhelmed trying to grow your social media followers and trying to be in all places all the time? If any of that describes you, I want to share a tool that will increase your social media followers, grow your email list, and bring in more traffic to your site. It's called MiloTree. MiloTree is an app that my husband David built for our site, Catch My Party. When we began Catch My Party back in 2009, Facebook was sending us loads of traffic and we were growing like crazy. Well, that is until a sudden algorithm change had us scrambling. We knew that Pinterest was the best place to get more traffic, and so in 2015, David built a pop-up to grow our Pinterest followers, knowing that more followers equals more traffic. It worked immediately. In the 4 years that we've been using the MiloTree app on Catch My Party, our Pinterest account has grown exponentially to over 1.1 million followers, and Pinterest now drives millions of page views to our site every single month. In 2016, we rolled out the MiloTree app to help other online entrepreneurs just like you, and we expanded it to help you not only grow your Pinterest followers, but also your followers on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It'll grow your sales on Shopify and Etsy, and it will even grow your email list. MiloTree is easy to use. It can be installed in under 2 minutes with zero design or technical skills. And as fellow online entrepreneurs, we understand the importance of site speed and staying in Google's good graces, so MiloTree is lightning fast and Google friendly. The MiloTree app is also customizable. You can focus on growing one platform at a time or switch between several. We also provide you with analytics to help you choose which platforms to focus on. Right now, you can get your first 30 days for free. Just go to MiloTree.com to sign up for your free trial today. And don't let anybody tell you that traffic doesn't matter. It matters a lot. Whether you want to work with a premium ad company, go after larger brand sponsorships, or simply have more people to market your own products to, your traffic must be growing. If you aren't converting your visitors into followers, subscribers, and customers, you need to change your strategy. And MiloTree will get you the results you need. But it can't help you unless you add it to your site. So take the first step today and head over to MiloTree.com and start your free 30-day trial. There are no contracts and you can cancel anytime. As a bonus, once you sign up, I'll send you valuable business tips each week to help you continue to grow your business. You can't be everywhere all the time. Let MiloTree work for you. It's fast, it's easy, and it gets results. So what are you waiting for? Get your free trial today. Go to MiloTree.com. And so the other thing that I wanted to talk about was Pinterest.
Yes.
Because I believe today, if you want to grow your traffic, you want to be really learning about SEO and you want to be really learning about Pinterest, because those, as you say, those two platforms are aligned with getting people to find the answers to the problems that they have on other people's sites. on a blog or on a website, that kind of thing. And it's not about the experience, even though I can definitely enjoy myself on Pinterest, like looking at shoes or whatever. It really is about, well, I want to click over, I want to see more. And
it used to be like internet hoarding, like you just pinned a lot of content, and now people are really intentionally using it and coming back to things they pinned previously, which is really interesting progression on the platform.
I agree. And they too care about things like keywords. And also because now Pinterest is a very, I would say, populated platform, meaning there's more competition. Back in the day, there wasn't, people, you could put it up and get traffic. Again, Pinterest cares about authority. So because we got on Pinterest early for Catch My Party, we've been able to leverage that platform. They know that our content is good, right? They know that it's helpful, and therefore we get rewarded for that. But how do we do that? Well, guess why? Because we've been on it for a long time. And we get a lot of engagement, and we are very niche. You want parties? This is where you go. So somebody's searching for party ideas. They know to serve up pins from Catch My Party, and you want to be that exact same thing. So you want to look at what's doing well on Pinterest. You want to make content that is similar. You want to become the authority, let's say, in gluten-free, but not just kid gluten-free. I think I might have used that example previously, but you want to be that. So when somebody searches for that, Pinterest knows, this is where we want this, this is the content. And again, it is about being aware of keywords in your titles, in your board descriptions, on your pins, using hashtags that are very you want to do a couple so it doesn't look too spammy, but you want to get that authority. I think it is all about authority in terms of getting people to trust you, really getting the platforms to trust you.
Because we used to just be able to arbitrarily do what we want. We were talking about this with Instagram a couple of weeks ago, where it used to be you could just follow anybody you wanted to follow, where you could just comment on anything you wanted to comment on and really use these things as long as you were active on them. That was really what you needed to be doing, where now you have to be a lot more intentional.
Absolutely.
And I think it's interesting you mentioned the keywords on board descriptions, because that's something that I think the entire industry has ignored for a really long time. That as a user, we don't go to Pinterest and click on someone's profile and then scroll through and find a board at the bottom of her list and then go look at it and read those descriptions. We don't do that.
No.
I've never done that in my life, but this is a search engine. It's like doing a meta description on Google.
Yep.
Or on your WordPress site, and then it being pushed out to Google. It is communicating to Pinterest.
Yep.
This is what this board is about.
Yep.
It's not just everything that I could think of thrown in one place. It's not a random board. It's not arbitrary. This is Disney World parties. And here's a description about what that means and the characters that you'll find on this board. And it's not because somebody's going to go read that. It's because you're communicating with the platform itself. And then all of those pins will then reinforce this is what this is about. And the title will communicate that. And all of those things will add up to when someone searches Disney World parties, it's going to go to Jillian's pin on a Disney World parties board that's been highly optimized for that keyword.
Absolutely. It is like clarity in communication. And I think about that in everything, again, like you want your blog posts to have that kind of clarity. And, like I notice on food blogs, there's a button usually at the top that says like skip to the recipe. And you want that because maybe somebody wants to hear your life story and how this is your grandmother's recipe, but really you want to serve the right information to the right people in the easiest way possible. And you want to serve it to the search engines.
Right. It's almost like, how we talk to our avatars and we have like in your head, like I'm talking to Susie right now. It's like having a robot avatar as well.
It is.
I'm also talking to the SEO avatar on Pinterest, on my site, on everything that I do. I'm talking to that avatar as well, even though it's a robot.
I totally, and a little bit, you could also think about it as like talking to your children, which is how, when you really want to communicate something and you have to be very, very direct and very specific and, get them to understand something. It's like very intentional, you know?
Yeah.
So
there's no room for misinterpretation.
No room for, right, exactly. And I think that is really how you want to be thinking about this. And it's funny because some people say, well, I feel like then I can't be as creative because like, what if today I just want to make, I don't know, I'm let's say the crockpot king, and then I'm like, no, I don't want crockpot to do crockpot recipes anymore. Well, you can experiment with doing something else. But I would say maybe there's a new way to be creative with crockpot stuff, you know?
Right.
You want to be consistent, and you don't have the same level of freedom, I have to be honest about this, than you did back in the day.
It's true. And if you're wanting this to be a business, if you're wanting this to just be fun, your creative outlet, then you do have full creative freedom. But if you are a influencer as a business now, you don't have any space for that.
I agree.
The exception being, I think if you get really bored, and I do this from time to time, and none of these things ever take off, they're just for my own entertainment, but I'll start a little Instagram channel with an idea that I had.
Yep.
And it's not going on any of my sites because I need to protect those. But I will start a little Instagram of my daughter's fashion or of travel or of whatever topic was interesting to me that day, and I had a fun idea and I want to see if I'll run with it. And usually I drop it after a couple of months because that's just who I am. But my little fun experiment that kept my creative juices going and kept me inspired didn't mess up the communication that I was having with the Google algorithm and the Pinterest algorithm and all of those things.
And your audience.
And my audience as well. Yeah. And sometimes I'll say like, hey, I started this new Instagram. You can go follow it. You know, I'll put that in an Insta story or something. And a few people will, but people know by now that I have a new idea every week. But that can be a way kind of explore. If you want to spend an hour a day on something new, feel free to do that, but maybe start it on a different platform, start it on a different Facebook page or an Instagram, and just see what happens.
I really like that. And I think that the idea of the accidental entrepreneur could have existed 10 years ago because a lot of the people that I talk to who've been at this for a long time didn't even think that they could monetize their blogs. Today, there's tremendous sophistication. So if you're in it, and this is like the audience that I want to attract, are people who are business people. They could be stay-at-home moms. They could maybe this is their first foray into entrepreneurship, but that is their first and foremost desire. And again, as you said, you've got some creative idea. You're not necessarily interested in making money. Go for it. Mm-hmm. Or you have a little side hustle or side project or just a side thing that feeds your soul. So you're the crockpot king or queen and you decide, I don't really like this anymore, but it makes you money. You know what you do? You farm out the crockpot recipe development and you keep it going and then you go follow your own passion. But I wouldn't sink your crockpot blog if you're the crockpot queen. Go figure out a way to make that work as a business. And we talked about scaling and things like that. Outsource it and then go after your other passion.
Yes.
Which again feels, I don't know, even just saying that, it feels like we're not saying follow your bliss. We're saying follow your business.
But I think you have to these days. And I think that that's okay because we're still in an industry where 75-80% of the things that we do we love.
Yes.
And that's really good odds.
Yes.
It's not like the only thing I like about my job is my one coworker who's there on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday.
Right.
I like most of what I do. I like the people that I interact with, and there are some parts I really hate. And there are some parts that I hate that I can't hire somebody to do for me, that they have to be done by me. But at the end of the day, this job is still pretty amazing.
Exactly. And you suck up the stuff that sucks. Like I always say that. It's not puppies and rainbows all the time. It is like you are working this. You are looking. You're digging into your analytics even if you're not interested in number. Like there are times, to be honest with you, like remember, I'm a person who likes numbers and stuff. And there are days where I'm like, I cannot look at my analytics. It's just, I have too much emotion tied into it. I don't want to see if my traffic has dropped. I don't want to see how much money I've made or not made. Like I'm just not emotionally prepared for it. Right. But then I will force myself to do it maybe the next day or the day after. So there is a lot. I mean, it is a job.
Yeah.
And it's a fun job. You know, But as my first boss said to me, he goes, they wouldn't call it work if it wasn't, otherwise they call it fun. So again, you want to make your job as fun as possible.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes for me, like that is why I go after a side thing that I know is not going to go anywhere money-wise, just because it allows me to enter that creativity space again in my brain and think about new, fresh ideas. And then when I come back to what I know and what's safe, like crock pots, I may have a new creative spin on it. I may have a fresh outlook, or I may just be so sick of whatever side hustle I just tried that was stupid.
Right, that it's like coming home.
Recipe.
Totally.
It's like, okay, good. Like I tried the crafty Instagram. I would never craft, but whatever it might be, I experimented with something new. I gave my brain that exercise, that workout that I had been craving. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the hard work of my business that I love. I was just having a bad day or week or month.
I love that. And let's just talk as our last place of traffic, newsletters.
Yes.
Now this, again, newsletters can serve a variety of purposes, but I know a food blogger who does, she I think creates 3 recipes a week, and she sends out through an RSS feed those recipes to her list. Her list is really loyal. People love food and they click. And her list is magical for driving traffic to her site. That
still amazes me.
I know.
It still amazes me that people are still doing RSS effectively.
Right. So an RSS feed, remember, is where it automatically will take your blog post and just send it as an email. Now, you could also send like every week, send a roundup of your blog post to the people who you know are going to click on your post and drive traffic.
Yes.
Now, at the end of the day, here's the tricky part. You have to look at it this way. You're paying for that email service. So it has to, and email services tend to be expensive.
They do.
So you have to balance how much money you are getting from that traffic versus how much you are spending to send those emails. And a lot of times where that will make sense is if you are also putting affiliate links, and I know there are certain things like MailChimp, you can't put affiliate links, last I checked, in your newsletters, but that you're then sending people to blog posts that have affiliate links where you can monetize it. If it's just a traffic play, it typically doesn't make sense to spend the money to send the emails to get the traffic, because your cost per how much you're going to make per 1,000 views probably won't make up for the cost the cost you're spending to send them. But it is another avenue to think about when building traffic and building that loyal audience.
And if you're planning to sell a product, then I think the email list is essential. It's not essential. Even a maybe. Like you could survive on your product without it. I don't think that's the case. I think it's absolutely essential if you're going to plan a product and to do a good launch, because those are going to be one of the main ways that you're not cold talking to someone.
Absolutely.
Because even our Facebook followers now, like I probably follow 2,000-3,000 pages on Facebook, and I don't know who most of them are. And I don't remember. So there's not a lot of trust built there. And same on Pinterest. I adore Pinterest, but I don't trust the people that I follow on Pinterest. And so those Pinterest leads are typically really, really cold leads, even though you can get a lot of clicks that way. But your newsletter, I remember the people who are in my inbox. I know who all of them are. I wouldn't let them be there. And so there's this level of trust that even those clicks being minimal, like you were saying, you're not going to get as many, you're not going to get enough clicks to pay for something. But those are trustworthy clicks. Those are people clicking over who are like, I am obsessed with Jillian and I want to buy everything she tells me to buy in this blog post.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference.
I love you. Yes, absolutely. And so experiment with how to, what happens when you put links in your newsletters that are for your content. One thing you can do is, because you don't just want to, as we know, be salesy, is send people just links to your blog posts. Like, let's say you're a food blogger because people love food. And then sprinkle in either affiliate links or courses or meal plans or whatever, in addition, so that you are providing value, you are creating this relationship, you are getting traffic from it, and then experiment with how your audience responds to that.
Yes. And I think too, having a good strategy of how you're collecting those newsletter subscribers, because I think that these days anybody can hire somebody to make a printable and about whatever you want.
So like a free, like a freebie or like a
free printable.
opt-in.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll get this for free if you subscribe to my list. Like that's one of the main ways that people collect newsletters is by offering something for free.
You mean emails? Emails.
Yes. Sorry.
Those.
But you have to be strategic from that moment, and having a freebie that is not attracting the type of person who's going to be long-term interested in what you send in your newsletter, you're just paying for a useless person.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
Because if, like, for example, if I were on one of my sites to do a preschool activity, I could easily hire someone to do a free printable of preschool activities, and I could probably honestly get a lot of subscribers that way. But my content is not about preschool activities. None of my products that I sell are about preschool activities. And so those subscribers are never going to buy my parenting book.
Right.
They're never going to buy any of the things that I offer, honestly, because they're looking for more preschool activities.
Right.
And so we have to be careful to even create our newsletter list and communicate well with those people what we're about in our freebies, and not just say, this is an easy way. I have this random product that I purchased or this random product that I created that's amazing, and I'm going to get people to sign up for it for free. You really have to think strategically about down the line, where is this person headed on my site, and where are they headed in their sales funnel? Even if you don't have a product yet, what are you planning to sell them one day or planning to offer them on your list that makes it worthwhile for them to be there? Because otherwise you don't want them.
Absolutely. So in fact, on MiloTree, I put together this huge blog post thing about which has like the table of contents in the post, and it's all about growing your Instagram followers. And I'm really proud of it, and I think it's really useful.
Beautiful.
And you can get the PDF if you give me your email address. Mm-hmm. However, now as we've been talking and as I've been strategizing and I've been getting more intentional, more specific, I realized, no, you know what? My next thing that I'm going to be creating is, again, not just going after people who want to grow their Instagram followers, but going after more my podcast audience, which is people who already think of this as a business, who already are making money, who can find that MiloTree could give them, as we talked in the beginning, that rocket fuel.
Yes.
Who already understand the basics of social media and how that can grow their business. That's the audience that I want to attract.
Because most of us aren't searching how to start. We're searching how to be in the middle.
Exactly. I want
you would phrase that on Google.
Yeah, like
but
I want
how to be in the middle.
Yeah.
And how to get to the top from the middle.
Yes. Absolutely. And I want to push people along on if they need to already be committed to this as a career, mm-hmm. as a journey, and I want to help them get to the next stage.
Yes. Because we don't want, at the end of the day, I think we used to want people browsing our sites, and we don't want just casual browsers anymore. We want people who are here to stay, who are wanting to eat a virtual meal with us and talk about something important. And that's where the industry is now. It's not just like the drive-by tumblers.
Exactly.
Come and stay a while on my site and enjoy. And I'm going to serve you really, really well, but I want you to be here and be in it for me.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Paula, I love these conversations. We will be having more. And what's nice about it for me is it pushes my thinking in my own business. And by articulating where I am and where we are in a business, I don't know, just something about putting it out there and speaking it to, I don't know, thousands of people makes it more, I don't know, come alive, makes me be more intentional in the way that I think about my business. So hopefully we've helped you be more intentional thinking about your business.
I hope so.
All right. Until next time, Paula, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you liked this episode. I hope you got some good takeaways takeaways for your business. And if you're liking the Blogger Genius, I have something to ask you. Would you head to iTunes and would you rate the podcast? We've been getting some really nice ratings and it helps the show get found. So until next week.